Having issues with finding commit that caused regression? Not with this approach anymore. Today, we'll show you one simple trick. Okay, I'll be more specific. Git command that will help you find the commit that introduced some regression on not so obvious example. And this is based on our yesterday's experience and the situation from the actual client projects. Hey, Tomek.
Yeah, hi Łukasz. Great introduction to this episode. I very like it. Today we are going to talk about something that happened yesterday. And we had, as always, we had a different idea for the episode, but we had some situation yesterday, and it's like we didn't want to forget it, and it was actually something new for us as well. So it's great to share it today. Let's see, and yeah, I will introduce you to the story behind the episode. It was like we had a file which we called the X file, and in some point of time we introduced some issue there. I mean, the functionality stopped to work, and when we took a look on the Git log, we saw such commits like you can see them here. Like we just wanted to blame someone, right? So we were checking the Git log for that. And as you can see, here was my commit, and here was a commit of the guy who we called the dude. We thought, yeah, we can blame the dude now because it was not me who introduced the regression here.
I mean, you fixed that before, right? You fixed this issue before. Yeah,
exactly. So I was pretty sure that it was working here. We also had some tests, but just to give you some, let's say, very short background, it was like we were testing more or less the HTML structure, which didn't change, but it looks like maybe there was some change in the, let's say, JavaScript code that introduced that. But it's not important for the presentation of this issue now.
But as you started, let's just call it front-end issue.
Yeah, exactly. It was not our fault.
Period.
Well, sorry. We are a full stack developers, so we take the responsibility as well. Yeah, but then we noticed that in this commit, indeed, it was okay here. But then when we check out to the dude commit, it was broken, right? So exactly. So we saw that it was broken. But we still were checking only the Git log of the X file, right?
Yeah, and just one more thing to add. When we checked the commit from the dude, it didn't look suspicious at all, right? You see that, and you know that obviously it didn't introduce the regression we were talking about. And that was clear, that was obvious, but that was still strange.
Yeah, that's important note here. Yeah, and so then I will turn this off. So then we took a look on the Git log, the full Git log, let's say, and we can see that this commit here, it was this one, and this commit here was this one, right? On the right-hand side. Mm-hmm. So we know that in the Git log that there were different commits, and the issue happened somewhere here, right? Between those two commits. And we basically, there are just a few of them here on the visualization, but actually in the GitHub repository, there were a lot of commits, right? I don't know, 50, 100 commits, right? Between those two commits. So it was quite hard to go one by one and checking one by one, right? And that's why we decided to use, Łukasz, what?
Yeah, we use the Git Bisect. What I'm laughing because normally we used to call it the Git Bisect, but we checked that before this episode. In Google Translator, we should say Bisect. So I'm trying to stick to it, but I allow myself to say Bisect. If I do that, sorry, not sorry. Right. So as you said, Tomek, going one by commit, it's inefficient, right? And then somehow I reminded myself of this Git Bisect. And actually, I think I surprised you, right? Because I'm not sure if you heard about that, but I heard about that. I never used it. And trust me, guys, it's really hard to surprise Tomek. So just to show you the mechanics of it, because it's very simple, and I believe that you can start using it even just right after you watch this video and you have to deal with a bug. To show you, I will share my screen and we'll switch to my console.
Yeah, I think we can see it now.
All right. So in order to start, you have to type git bisect. And now it says that needs a command. So starting command is actually a start. And now he's saying that, it's saying that it's waiting for both good and bad commits. So what I did here, I introduced some changes to our task app, right? I did some formatting, I did change some rules, and some other things. And I know for a fact that on this, when I'm on the head, right? So on this commit, when I run my git tests, sorry, not git tests, my tests, just regular tests, I can see they are failing, right? So now git bisect, I can tell the git bisect that this is the bad commit, right? And now he says that he knows a bad commit, he's waiting for a good one. So I know that previously, if I check my git log, those changes are not pushed. I know that it stopped working here. Sorry, it was working here. It was still working here when I started working with this branch. So on the finding bugs with Git branch. So now I can check to this commit to confirm that, right? So I will run the test once again. And they're green. Okay, so I can tell the Git bisect that this is good stuff. So now he's telling me that...
So at least we have the frame, right? Between what was where we had a good commit and bad commit, right?
We have the frame, and that's exactly the situation we were in. We know that, but the problem is that there were one commit after another, right? So there was something in between, not in this file. We really needed to check that. So he's telling me now that there are 3 revisions left to test. So that's not so much work that I need to do. So now what I do, he switched me to another commit. Now what I need to do is I need to run my tests. They're failing, so I tell the git bisect that it's bad. I don't like it. So once again, he switched me to another commit. I run my tests. Now I see they are green, so I can tell it, the git bisect, that it's all right, it's good, right? And as you can see here, the git bisect pointed certain commit that is faulty. That caused the change, at least according to our test, right? Because if I type git bisect in the wrong place, it's not gonna work, obviously. So now I can show you the git, the commit itself, what was the change. And as you can see here, I tried to rename streams from task to project task. And if we go for the changes, with the nice highlight, you can see that I actually misspelled project task to project task. Not really good, right? But at least now I know what's the issue. Yes, Tomek?
Yeah, I just commented your change. That is horrible.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. I should have run my test, but I didn't. Obviously, what I could do right now, I could fix it, and the test would run green. Okay, so let's actually quickly fix them because I want to show you that I'm not fooling you. Sorry, because there's now important step. I can now, when I know where the issue is, I can just go back to my head. So I can do that by git bisect reset. And now I can go to my task service, go to find this task, and just remove this additional A. And now when I write tests, they should be green. And they are. So now what I would do, Nice. What I would do, I would just commit this somehow. Usually good commit message is kakadudu. No, just kidding. Fix misspelled string. Okay, that's what I would do. Maybe I would just rebase the previous commit depending if I pushed it or not. But you can see it's not a piece about committing, although it's about git bisect. Okay.
Or it's not also about fixing the old stream, right? No.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to show you that I'm not fooling you, that this actually does, that this commit introduced the bug and I was able to fix it quickly, almost in no time.
Yeah, it's really nice that Git tells you switches to the different commit without you don't have to do it, right? Just the Git propose the next commit that you are jumping to, right? And you can run tests then and just mark it as bad or good, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Nice. That's nice.
And the amount of work is reduced because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 changes, and we only switch 2 times, I think, right?
2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times.
It does the half and half, and yeah.
That's how the bisect works. But still, as you can see, it will limit the number of work that you need to do. If you care about the root cause, we usually do. That's how we work. We really want to know what change introduced the issue instead.
Yeah, we didn't want to blame anyone. No.
we
just were looking for the root cause.
But we also didn't want to add another plaster on the top of something that used to work and then it stopped, right? Obviously now we need a regression test for that. And that's it for today, I think.
That's it. And I think we are on time.
And we are on time. Wow, that's really great. So if we have still some time, I would just like to add, I would like to just ask you guys to subscribe. If that content is interesting, you can check our previous videos. Most of them were related to event sourcing. We'll obviously go back to this topic unless we are inspired by something that we do on a daily basis. Then there's just this strong need to share it with you, record a video, and just publish it. So we'll go back to event sourcing soon. I think next episode, probably, perhaps, yes. But
yes, we might also think about continuation of the previous video about testing code, actually. But we think about it. Let's see.
That's interesting because it triggered a lot of discussion in our organization, but also some discussion in the LinkedIn post that I used to advertise it. So if you're curious, you can also join the discussion. We're really happy to discuss this approach. And the famous last words. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.